I am the modern day witch in NXT UK. I like to have a message of women empowerment, and when I go in the ring and when I wrestle, I want to show that I'm just as good as guys, as good as the men that we're seeing headline in WrestleMania and everywhere else, and that I want to show that women are capable of doing that same thing that we've seen men do for so many years, like being the highlight of it. Like, women are just as good at it. Women can handle the same hits, the same punches, everything else. I kind of fell into wrestling. I loved it from such a young age, and for me it was something I thought was like an impossible dream, because you see it and it's in America, which is, to my like young brain, was so far away. And so I just kind of like, I loved it, and I was like, oh, I'd love to be that, and like, how do you do that, and how do you get into that? But I just like put it in the back burner because it seemed impossible. Mm-hmm. And then I was in dance and acting, and I was doing a show about professional wrestling. And one of the wrestlers that came in to kind of like show us what wrestlers do and what real wrestling is like, and just so we could try and be authentic as possible to it. I got chatting to him and I got friends with him, and he was like, oh, like I have a training school like 20 minutes away. And I was like, what? I was like, those training schools? Like, that's a thing. So I kind of just fell into it that way. And then as soon as I started, like, it's like my first training session, I was like, this is it. It varies. I travel a lot. Right now I'm in London, and obviously I'm from Glasgow, so I'm travelling a lot. And it's just, when we've got shows, it's when we're doing end teams, it's getting early to the studio, getting everything prepped, getting ready, getting photo shoots done, maybe media interviews before the show starts at 7, and then it's just like all hands on. Travel aside, it's usually making sure I'm getting to the gym, making sure I'm getting to training, trying to eat as much and as healthily as possible. So I'm in the gym probably about 4 to 5 days a week, and then on top of that I go to kickboxing, wrestling training, and then occasionally I'll do like CrossFit kind of workouts. I think dance has just helped me so much, and knowing how to control my own body, knowing how to move properly, knowing how to, it's like if you're doing like partner work, people you can trust, people you have that, like, you have a solid foundation for what goes into wrestling training. I think any sport can help you get into it, like any kind of thing that where you're getting a bit of fitness and stuff like that. So if it is something that people want to get into, you don't need to start having this big long background in athletics and whatever else. I've had a few bumps and bruises, but nothing major. I've had no, like, knock on wood, I've had no broken bones. It was actually at my WWE tryout, and I was picked to wrestle Asuka on Raw. It was so scary because I was there, like, obviously I'd prepared for my tryout and everything, but I was thinking that's all it's going to be, is like, I'm going to be in gym clothes every day, just like doing the things that I'm doing regularly in training. And it was like about a couple hours before the show started, they were like, oh, like we need you to do this match, and I was like, oh. But it was genuinely the most exciting moment. It was like I never got an entrance or anything. It was just like, start in the ring, Asuka will come out, and she absolutely beat me up. She was so good. She absolutely battled me. But it was just, that definitely confirmed for me that it was somewhere that I wanted to be. Like, WWE was where, like, there was no feeling like it. Was in Manchester at one of their, like one of the house shows, and it was just one of the best feelings ever. We've got kind of full creative control to a certain point over like our look in general. So I'm like, coming from a dance background, I love I love costumes. Like, my mum's part of the process as well, and we'll be like, oh, we could get this colours and this and that. So I think mine has kind of evolved and got a bit darker and edgier over time. Obviously, like, when I did do dance and acting, that was a big part that I loved, was becoming somebody else and like playing a different character. And I think costume's such a big part of that. Like, when you get it on, you're like, right now I am Isla Dawn, like, I'm ready to go. I think some of the best professional wrestlers today are the women. You just have to look at the women's revolution that took place in WWE, and the people like Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley, etc., who like forged the way for women, and they are the forefront of it. Like, they are seen as the main people, and they are. But if you go back as well with like Lita and Trish Stratus, like, women have been doing China, like, women have been consistently amazing at this sport for so many years, but they've just not had the platform. Like, they've just not had as much push behind them. They've not had as much screen time. They've not had as much time to just get in the ring and show that they can do it. Like, there's this idea, like, now it's a women's sport, but it's always been a women's sport, and it's just now we're getting that spotlight on us.